Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new podcast, Shades of Black. I am your co host, Nérolane, the founder of Consciously Black, a community platform where I gather Black individuals in Canada to discuss their Black experiences and revive Black pride.
And I'm Miriam, a registered psychotherapist and founder of Thoughtful Therapist, a mental health platform aimed to empower marginalized communities. And together we have created Shades of Black, a bi-weekly podcast emerging from both our studies where we shed light on the different experiences encountered within our Black communities and the mental health aspects that exist within those experiences.
Join our new community space where we discuss our challenges, our successes, our joy, our pain, and our Blackness. Follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other platforms to tune into our bi-weekly episodes. We cannot wait to converse with you.
Yes. Welcome. This is not season 2, still season 1, but this is part 2 of season 1. I am your co-host, Nérolane.
And I'm Miriam. And today we're coming with you on a conversation about life transitions and relationship endings. Yeah. And the reason we're choosing this conversation for today is because we've been going through it.
Yeah. It's been like how long? It's been a month since we stopped shooting?
Yeah.
June?
Our last episode was in August when we went to Halifax. So then July.
Yeah, so
end of July. We haven't been consistent and life has been dragging us.
I know. For a straight 1 month.
It's like back to back. Yeah. So we're coming with you with navigating life transitions and relationship issues relationship endings, because it's something that's been playing out in our personal life and we've been seeing it play out in other people's lives that we see in our circles. So we thought it was kind of just something that we're kind of like all just going through, and we're just like, okay, let's just sit down, have a conversation, be real about what's going on in our lives. And so Nero, what's new with you?
What's new with me? I have decided after long reflection that to go back and to continue my graduate program at Carleton University.
Ooh.
So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I'm currently doing my master degree at Carleton in migration and diaspora. And it's been a while that I've been like pushing going back and stuff. And I have decided to go back part-time because I still work full-time, but this is I think I'm following 2 classes and they're quite intense. So this is kind of what's new in my life, actually.
Is it feeling good to be back at school?
Yeah, honestly, for a weird reason, I think that this semester I'm more focused. I don't know. I feel like the past couple months I was like debating into going back to school due to personal reason, stress, and many other reason. But I don't know. I feel like this time around, like I feel way more confident, less anxiety. So therefore I feel a bit more ready. So yeah. And when I think about like my 2-year life goals and plan, finishing my master is there. So
what do we see, Maître Nérolane?
Honestly, after this, please call me Maître. That's French. Please call me master. Yeah. But I know, I'm sorry. I feel like in our context, saying master it's not the best thing saying, but I don't know. How do you call people with like after they finish their
graduate students or graduate?
No, they have like an MD something.
Oh yeah, I have an MED, so Masters in Education. So it would be like what is your program in? Under which faculty?
It's under it's under international affair. Oh. Yeah, international school affair or something like that.
Is that like Masters of Arts, probably under arts?
Good question. I don't know
how they do how they label it. To be honest, I just grab the title and I go.
Yeah. Anyways, call me MED, whatever you want, but please
Add the M.
Add the M. That's it. That's all.
Funny.
That's all. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah.
Any updates?
Yeah, a lot. My transition has been a whole 6-month period since we started this podcast. We started in May.
Yeah, around.
Yeah, we started in May, and then in April. April is when my transition started, first week. So for those who don't know, I have been in between employment. I'm not saying unemployed, but that's low-key what it is. And I've been calling myself self-employed. So it's been helping me, kind of just figure out what it is that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I was working at a community center. It was going great connections. But I realized that it wasn't for me at all. And so, there was a lot of things happening, but overall, it wasn't for me. And I was like, okay, how do I go back into being more in the mental health field and doing more work in mental health field? Although I was doing more mental health and community building, the community building is a lot. I don't know. Community building, the working for the community takes a lot of effort, time, dedication, creativity, and sometimes you can't really do it all for the community.
100%.
And sometimes I think that's the role that I thought I could do, is be there and do all the programs and all the services, but I crashed hard. I crashed hard. So that's been my transition, and till now, just trying to organize thoughtful therapists. That's been one thing. Trying to figure out the brand, the connections, trying to figure out income.
That's a big one.
That's been but it's funny though, because I'm so used to living on my savings, because I've been in school my whole life, right? So I'll work summer, I'll save, I'll have a good amount, and then I'm good for the semester, the year to come. But now it's I'm done school, and you're supposed to be working, and here I am just not working. So it's been an interesting transition. I feel like everybody's around me looking at me what is she doing?
Yeah.
And I'm just guys, I don't know.
I guess the question I have is, how does it feel to navigate the second half of our 20s? For you said most part you were in school. So what is it like to be between employment?
in the second half of my 20s. I don't know, being 25 and turning 26, it's been interesting, because I remember when I was younger, I told myself I wouldn't be home by the age of 25.
I feel that.
I'm 25 and I'm still home. And it's a bit more, I think the issue with me is that it's not necessarily my home with my biological mother. It's more so with my aunt, and more so not extended family, but I'll just call it that for now. So it doesn't feel at times, oh, my family's gonna watch this, oh my goodness, I'm just thinking, okay, sorry guys, just saying it how it is. But it just hasn't felt I don't know, I just overstayed. I feel like I've overstayed there, and it's been hard not getting the income that I need to kind of get out, because if you're trying to buy nowadays, well, in general, if you're trying to buy, the bank needs proof of full-time income or something like that. So so that's been an interesting transition, and being in my late I don't know, I don't feel like I have the freedom that I thought I would have.
I get that.
And I don't think I'm I still feel dependent in some ways, and I'm just okay, I feel grown, why am I still in this position? I feel stuck too, so that doesn't help. And I know it's a transition though, so I know it's gonna be, I'm not here forever, but for the moment being, it's kind of heavy.
I get that.
What about you?
Honestly, I'm I can, everything that you're saying resonate with me. I also feel stuck, and I feel a part of me outgrown, if I can say that, my environment.
100%.
Ottawa, and please, I know half of the half of you that are currently following us are in the region of Ottawa and Gatineau, and this is no shade. This is just something that's personal to me. I've been Ottawa all my life. I grew up Ottawa. I never lived the city. There was a point that I was living in Montreal for like around like 6 months, 8 months, and after I came back because I have a lot of responsibility in Ottawa, like owning a house and all, etc. But I do feel stuck. I feel stuck. I feel like it's time for me to start something fresh. Not Montreal. I'm sorry again if you live in Montreal. This is no shade to Montreal, but I don't know. I go Montreal pretty often, and I don't know. I feel like it's not. It doesn't match my vibe. Doesn't match my personality. And then sometimes I think about Toronto, but then again, Toronto can be overrated as well. Anyways, I don't know where I fit yet. I don't know where I want. Where I'll be in the next like 1 2 years. But I know it's not all where I got. No, actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe until I finish my master degree, which can take like a year and a half, because I've been like I mentioned before, I've been postponing it. So maybe for the next like 1 year, 2 years, I will be in Ottawa. But after my master's, I'm out. I gotta go.
I feel that.
And so, and also to go back to what I was saying about like outgrown, like I feel very lucky to have like amazing friends, family and stuff, but also for the past couple months, I think this year there's a lot of that I have shift when it comes to like my friendships, family settings and stuff. And I feel that a lot of time when I have like certain conversation with people about like, and especially when I say I have outgrown the place, I think a lot of time people take it personal. Like they just feel that like, oh, like you now saying you outgrown this place, like what does it mean,
You think you're bigger.
And I'm like, no, like I'm so grateful for like my friends, my surrounding, but like it's not like my friends or whoever no longer serving like my purpose or etc. It just I don't know. I feel like it's hard to explain. It's hard to put a word to it. And I think that because that where I am mentally, I think that put a lot of I don't know. I feel like that put a lot of that broke a lot of friendship, or that put doubt in a lot of friendships.
Do you feel like, because I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like after the pandemic, I know we talked about it quickly before we were doing this recording, but before the pandemic, like, it was easy to just see people and be out and about and be with your friends. But after not seeing people for like 2 years and a half, like, and we were all kind of going through it. Well, not kind of, we were. We were all going through it during that period of time. So now coming back outside, and like things are open again, but it's like, do I really want to do the same things that I used to do? Because we're not the same at the end of the day. So
100%.
Trying to connect back with people that you were like, going to your parties or your events or whatever the case may be, before the pandemic, and trying to reconnect with this in the same way. I don't know. For me, it hasn't been working. I feel. And I don't know if it's the same for you, if that's probably like affecting your like relationship endings, if you think, or transitions.
I feel like since COVID, it's been like 2 years that COVID had been the center of our life. A lot of change mentally. I feel like COVID equal loneliness, with like, there's so many people that you just lost contact, lost touch. And then for me, around COVID, I was working at the borders. I was doing so many things that Like all my focus was work. Again, because I was purchasing a house. I was planning to go back to school. It was a lot. And also because I was so focused into my future, focused into owning my property, and also having that property that eventually can be what's going to help me to leave Ottawa. I don't think that some people understand that, like, I'm no longer the same Nérolane that will spend most of the time, most of the money into having, like, going to parties, into I don't know, you like spend the money in a very irresponsible way. And I think that a lot of people have a hard time to understand that growth. And even on social media, and I had a person that made a comment once, like, oh, like, I used to see you like living your best life. What happened? And I'm like, deep down, I still love like having fun. I still love traveling. I'm still the same to the core. I'm still the same person. My values and belief is still the same, but
your priorities have shifted.
My priority has shifted. And until that I feel a point of my life that I'm stable and I no longer feel stuck, I can't fake the funk, you know. So, and COVID changed my life. And also changed friendship too.
It changed a lot of our lives, and it changed a lot of friendships. And I don't know, reprioritizing, I think, like, when you start to reprioritize what is good for you, there's a guilt that comes with it.
100%.
You know, and like, you know, we want to touch base on like the cultural guilt that happens when we choose ourselves, and we choose to not do the things that others are doing. And focusing on something else that might not be conventional, that might not be the norm of whatever everybody's doing, you know. Like, as soon as restaurants open, everybody was out. I was like, I don't want to be out. I don't want to be outside. I don't know who you are. No, I don't know where y'all been. Like, you know, like, it's just. And then I think people take that personally sometimes. And thinking like, oh well, like, why do you don't want to go out? Like, what are your reasons? Like, I just don't want to be out. Like, and the other day I told you I went out. Okay, so guys.
Tell us, Miriam.
So me being Miriam, I have these, you know, sometimes people pleasing tendencies. So I have like family friends. Family. They were family. And they wanted to go out for me for a while. I was like, I kept pushing it. I was like, nah, I'm not going out. I'm not in the mood. I'm not going out. Finally, last week of like summer happened, and I went out. I went to the club
in Ottawa.
It was too much.
In Ottawa,
it was too much for me. Like, I don't know. As I walked in, there was too much people. It was too hot. Went to the bathroom. The drunkenness, the drama that comes with the drunkenness, and I was just looking at it all play out, and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I was upstairs, and like, I was just looking at everybody just drinking. Like, I was tipsy, I won't lie. But everybody else was like drunk, but I was like more aware of what's going on, you know? I'm just looking at people. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, why am I here?
How old are they? Like,
it was our age group though. It's just like, it wasn't for me. And I think that's okay for people to want to go out, but for me to force myself to be in that position, and like, just to make sure that, like, I don't know, just to kind of please others, you know, like, I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't do it again.
I don't go unless it's a birthday party. If it's a birthday occasion, like birthday, big celebration, I don't know, that maybe that's the only time that I'll go clubbing. But clubbing is just no longer for me, unless also if I travel. If I travel, I'll go to like a whole different city I've never been. I don't know, I feel like I do want to experience that clubbing life, you know. So that's the only time I can see myself clubbing. Other than that, house party is nice. Yeah,
like events,
pool party, day party. I like day
parties. Day parties are good.
Yeah.
like I think it's still, we're trying to, live our best life, still do the enjoyment, all that stuff, but it's coming from a different, more grown people perspective.
I know.
It feels old though. We feel old,
but yeah, I mean, when you think about it, when you go clubbing, it's a lot of money.
It is.
Like one drink,
yeah,
it's like little cup. It's like $10,
and it's diluted.
Let's talk about that.
The Hennessy shot you're taking is not just Hennessy.
Let's
it's water
talk
and
about
Hennessy.
that.
Yeah.
And like the entries are like $20. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm spending $20 to go and be the air is sticky.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just feel that it's no longer my vibes.
Yeah.
Plus, like my partner, my boyfriend is like, it's not about the clubbing life. Never been. So I don't know.
Like you can go out with him.
Yeah.
With these things. Yeah.
Like that's not his vibe.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Oh, speaking of parties, let me do a quick promo. So on October 22nd, there's the first edition of Afro Guyad, hosted by B9 Entertainment. Okay, so no, let's be real. This is how we promote our community. This is how we uplift each other. So there's gonna be an event, Afro Guyad, first edition. There's gonna be Jesse Simmons from Ottawa performing.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be DJ Titus. There's gonna be DJ Alphonse, both from Ottawa as well. Nice. You have DJ J Fresh from Montreal, nice. And you have D and Nérolane from Montreal. So
Nérolane is coming.
Yes, Nérolane.
Okay,
pull up. I'm gonna be there.
So how much it is?
45.
45. Okay.
It's
in advance, how much is at the door?
65. Okay. So it was 35 for early birds, 45 for now regular tickets, and 65, I believe, for late admission.
Yeah.
Or at the door. So it's still affordable. I think it's pretty affordable.
100%.
I'm looking at these events now. I'm looking at $70,
but
and I'm like,
you know, I like special events.
Yeah.
Like I think that makes sense. And I mean, I'm sure everyone already know that we are part of the Haitian diaspora, and a big part of it is bal. Okay. And events like that, like I do love a nice event that I can dress up nice. It can happen like once a month, or maybe twice a month with different artists, because it's all about like supporting different artists too, and not like just hip hop and just like bunch of remix music together. It's just listening to local artists, and their talent. So I love events like that. So like Miriam just said, is it still early bird?
No, regular tickets, 45.
Okay.
From what I believe.
Now it's regular tickets, so go ahead and purchase your tickets, and
we'll see you there.
We'll use we won't say, I won't stay for long, but
you'll still pull up.
You'll catch me there.
You'll still pull up. Okay, so back to what we were trying to say. So I don't know. Do you feel like it's necessary to have a conversation with a friend that you used to like be in contact with all the time, and be like establishing where you guys lay now, or are you good like with just like if the relationship's dead, then it's dead, and that let that be?
Honestly, I used to think that friendship, real friends, doesn't need to talk all the time. And I think that friends understand that some people go through certain things, and then the older you're getting, the older that it's normal. It's just part of life to just slowly it's a different type of struggle. I don't know what to say. Like,
it's interesting you say that though, because like I realize my pattern though, it's probably a toxic pattern though, if I'm being honest. But whenever I'm going through something, I isolate myself and I withdraw, and I feel like in a way that might push people away, like the friend groups that I have. But at the same time, it's just because I'm trying to like navigate what I'm going through, you know? And like as I do my transitions, kind of like now, you know, like I'm no longer with my friends group, but if there's events or things, activities happening, like I'm not in the right headspace for it. So I won't force myself to be in there, right? But at the same time, it feels like I'm withdrawing myself. And a part of me kind of feels guilty because it's not like I'm doing it on purpose. It's just that I'm not in the right mind for it, and I don't want to have to kind of fake the funk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I think right now, like I'm in a period where I'm learning to like protect myself and protect the energy that I have. And like, if I know that I give too much, because I know that I do, I'm a very big giver. So when I give too much, that just drains me. And like, when I'm fully drained, all I do is sleep. And when I've seen myself in that state, like within the last few weeks, and I realized it's because I was giving too much of myself, you know?
Yeah.
And so I withdraw, or I put myself more to the side. But I'm wondering if the people that I care for, I still do, of course, if they're seeing it in a
positive
or a negative way. Yeah. You know, if they're kind of I'm wondering what their thoughts are and how they're choosing to, I don't know, respond maybe.
Well, something, I mean, the only thing I can say is I recently had a conversation with one of my friends, and she did express how I wasn't present when she needed me the most. And at first I was just like, wait a minute, like, I am drowning, you know? Like, I feel like, especially after a certain time of you withdrawing yourself from a certain situation, when you get the chance to connect with whoever friends, sometimes the friends will take it personal and now telling you what you did wrong in that friendship, and which sometimes it's like I'm already drained, like
it's
I'm already
not fair.
Like I'm already drowning, like, and I remove myself from situation because I thought that I needed to save myself, you know what I mean, in order to kind of remain sane. Like, for my sanity, I did this, you know. And now that I'm feeling in a better headspace and I can like reach out to you and communicate with you, and to be, you know, and to have a conversation and say, like, you know, when I needed you, you weren't there. I was just like, damn, okay, like, I'm sorry for the time being. For 1 year since the pandemic, I've been very much focusing on myself, my well-being, my mental health, but at the same time, I don't think it's fair. However, because if me, the type of person that I am, my friends know that they can always call me. I will always pick up. My friend can say to pull up, I will always pull up. The only thing is, I was no longer that friend that always wanted to talk on the phone, which is hard because I used to be that friend that, for a lot of people, that I used to be the most present, physically, also, like, I used to be always there. And the fact that I wasn't always there, I mean, due to the type of work I was doing and etc., they took it too personal.
People end up having expectations of how you should be.
And this is another thing too, when you think about friendship, and especially friendship that you've been having since you high school or your earlies of your 20s, and where before your only responsibilities was either school or having fun and, like, I don't know, think about boys problem and all those things. It's not the same reality. And the same expectation that someone had when I was 20, 21 shouldn't be the same expectation as me that's currently 27. It's not fair. It's not, because it's just no longer the same. You know, I am dealing with bigger, and I'm dealing with adulting. It's ghetto. It's truly ghetto. I'm dealing with so many things. And for me to, let's say, to be in a situation and have this conversation, I was like, damn, I feel this conversation is needed, because it's her right to express how she feels. That's the reason why I had to apologize for being so much in my bubble, to not realize that I was actually affecting her. But at the same time, I'm like, I really feel that's like a bit childish at the same time, you know? Maybe not childish in the word, but I just felt like, why are we having this conversation? It's part of life. It's part of adulting, you know? If I was a bad person and I've done something to you, like I backstabbed you, I talk shit about you, I don't know, something that kind of would make you reflect about the friendship, I would have understood. But if the thing was more about you weren't present when I needed you, and then I asked you, why didn't you call me? And your answer was just like, oh, I feel you were not going to answer me. It doesn't make sense. And one last point before me and start talking. Please come with facts, okay? I love my facts. I do. I truly do. If we have a conversation about anything, I will ask you concrete example. It's needed.
Come with the receipts.
Yeah. If you want to prove a point, please come with receipts. If you have a friend, whoever, in a setting, a relationship, whatever it is, and you want to express how the person hurted your feeling, etc., yada, 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 come with proof and concrete example. Because in too many time, we are seeing people put in their own insecurity, their own projecting certain things into others, and it has nothing to do with the other person. It's just a projection. And let's 2022, it's almost the end of 2022.
Lord have mercy.
Let's practice better communication skills, please.
They was tired.
I am tired. I am tired because obviously, and also I did say that was my last time, but I just had to add something. Because also in that conversation, I did ask, I'm like, is it anything I should change? Right? Like, I want to improve. I want to change. And obviously, I want to be mindful to never do this again, especially to you, because clearly I understand that the friendship I have with you is not the same friendship I have with other people. So now I understand you do require me to text you more often. I can't treat you the same way I was, let's say, our relationship. I can treat, like, we barely talk, but at the end of the day, when we talk, we have a good time. Yeah. But I now understand with her, I have to create, like, I have to change my habit to fit her standards and her definition of friendship.
But that's not fair for you.
But, you know, I think sometime in friendship, you have to adjust people that you truly want into your life. So I'm willing to adjust to her and what's required from me. And this is how I care about her. That's the reason why I'm willing to change whatever I have to change in order to maintain that friendship. But it's almost like you telling me, oh no, you don't have to change anything. It's almost like, wait, then why were you mad? At least if I have nothing to change, tell me the reason you were actually mad. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Come with concrete example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I don't know. I was gonna say, like, the adjustment is important in the friendship, like you mentioned, but I think it would also be good for people to know that, like, if you're gonna adjust yourself, just make sure you're not doing it at your own expense. You know, not adjusting to the way where you're meeting all their needs and it's not reciprocated. Yeah, it's for it to not be reciprocated and for you to just end up like drained at the end of the relationship, you know. And then now it's like the other way around, where you feel like this person's not giving you as much, and then I'm doing all of this for you, but you're not doing this for me. So I don't know, just being mindful of that.
But let's think about that though. Yeah, in any relationship you encounter, the goal is to be truthful to yourself. And to not ever expect anything back. You giving that much of energy, and when I say energy, you being this is you. If you love to provide and give, and you love to take care of your loved one, that attitude is not supposed to change because you are now in a relationship with a person that's not like you. And I think that the people get disappointed, and they want to say c'est pas réciproque, because that they expect that people to go and to do the same thing as you. Le salut est personnel.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah.
And you know, and I know it's like very much biblical, but it's like you don't do things to expect.
Yeah.
And even in that conversation with that friend, she did say, I did so much, and I feel that you were not being, you wouldn't do as much as I did. And I answered, I said, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you, but you can't compare it. And I don't think that nobody should necessarily change your good behavior, because giving is something good, just because they are having a friend that doesn't do the same thing. So this is kind of like,
it's interesting you say that, but I wanted to touch on the part of being truthful when it comes to communication, because I think when, you know, like your friend came and presented an issue with you, you know, and that was her truth. But sometimes I feel like people present issues to others without being truthful to themselves first, to see how the relationship or what the dynamic or what was actually going on first. So I feel like when we're coming with, or when we're having a conversation with somebody and we want to, like, you know, address an issue that's at hand, I think first and foremost, you have to be true to yourself and see, like, okay, like, I understand this is how she made me feel, but where did I go wrong as well? What was my part, and where do I feel like I need to take accountability for whatever issue is at hand too? Because at the end of the day, it's not always a one-sided thing, you know. A lot of the times it's one who accepted something and the other one who maybe dismissed their own feelings in the meantime. So being true to yourself and seeing where you also went wrong, and then taking that in the conversation and being accountable for your mistakes as well is very, very important when communicating. And I think that just makes it a lot easier for people to what's it looking for, make amends, or yeah, I'll just say make amends for now. I
think,
or see where the relationship is going to go from there.
Being truthful is definitely important, because after the conversation, I was just like, I'm like, wow, this conversation was needed. Because clearly I do care about her mental health. I do care about how I make her feel. I never want to make people feel like shit, you know. Sorry.
Okay. It's your second time swearing.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Today? In the same episode? When was the first time?
You said shit earlier.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
I'm so sorry. Not me adding God into this. I'm sorry. Lord. But yeah, like, I think, obviously I never want people to make them feel like less of themselves, or make them feel that I don't value them or respect them. But at the same time, sometimes, especially in a setting that when you are sitting down at the table and it's one specific person that is just putting everything out, and it's one person talking about, like, I think I feel like
there are other opinions, there are other feelings.
Yeah.
Please
and
take them in consideration.
That's it. And it's almost like, and you have to listen to this, and the good friend, like the good person in you, going to apologize. The first thing is like, I have to apologize for making you feel like this. Obviously, I apologize to make her feel like this. I thought it was very sad. Like, I think that it made me sad that I made her feel like this, because she's one of my closest friends. So in my head, I'm like, oh damn, you know, I was a bad friend to you to not even realize that I made you feel like that. But also at the end of the conversation, I was just like, damn, like, what is that? Like, that was half of the thing wasn't necessarily true, right? Like, I apologized for something, and at the same time, I'm like, it was a lot of you, but I didn't even get the chance to actually speak my truth, right? Like,
it's interesting when something is true for one person but not for the other.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it just again goes back to like, how do you make space for that? It's just like, it's not really how I saw it play out. So it's like the person needing to address their own issues. Yeah, before coming. But okay, so what are some communication skills that you think are needed for relationship endings? Because, you know, you talked already about having receipts, coming with concrete facts, and knowing that, you know, your feelings are valid, but they can't be used as proof. Yeah.
You can't in your head say someone is a bad person just because, you know, like it's not because I'm not doing whatever you want me to do that you think you have the right to label me as a bad person or a bad friend, let's say. And I guess that the second advice I got in my head is better communication skills is be honest. I guess it's the same thing as being truthful.
Yeah. I think it's the number one thing. You have to be honest with yourself, and then you go and you're honest with the others. Yeah.
Also, it's not always. It's a good communication skill is both party need to communicate,
not just one taking over. Yeah.
And I think that sometimes in certain set of friendships or different type of relationship, parents with their parents and stuff, there's always that one person that expressed their opinion the most, and there's always that one person that's like more silent. It could be based on their personality, but it could just be because like they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. It's like some people is not built
like you. I hate confrontation.
Yeah, so
it's not my strong suit.
A lot of time it's to be mindful.
Yeah, of how the other person can receive the information.
That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't like confrontation at all. So when somebody comes at me with like, I don't know, and like when I see high emotions, especially like anger, like I just like I start to shut down. You know, so it's like, how do I say my own truth if this other person is like fully taken over, isn't able to like hear anything else, and isn't taking on other perspectives or other opinions or things like that. So it makes it hard for the person who's on the receiving end to even be, I don't know, feel comfortable to speak their truth. And yeah.
Do you have any advice, actually?
Keeping your emotions in check is one. Like, if you know you're emotional on the day and you need to go and you're thinking to confront this person, don't do it. It's not to not do it, but the other person isn't going to listen to you the way you would like to, because when emotions are heightened, everything else is kind of just like, nobody listens if we're being real. If we're being real, nobody listens when the emotions are heightened. So I don't know if you need to find some way to calm your emotions down, do some mindfulness, go for a walk, I don't know, do something to ground yourself. And then if you see that you're able to have that conversation and you're in a better state, then go ahead and do it, because you don't want to be the person who is like fully lashing out or fully just not paying attention to the other person's perspective as well. I don't know if that's making sense, but
yeah, that it does make sense. But there's some people that they are like that.
Yes, 100%. I'm fully aware. But it is sometimes draining for the other person who has to deal with it when it's only emotions and never or not enough of the logical or the rational part. You know, like, emotions are good, they're valid, they allow us to understand what's going on with us, but emotions also need to find, like, it's important that we find ways to translate those emotions into something that, like, the concrete examples that the other person can actually digest. Yeah, that's how I'm trying to say.
Did you have any like life event that made you question friendship or the type of relationship recently?
Life events that made me question relationships,
or that you had to apply those communication skills?
I don't talk.
For a therapist, she doesn't talk. That's a first.
I don't know. Like, the thing is, I'm very okay. Yeah. So the thing is, I've said this before, I'm very self-aware, and I'm very aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
And when I see things play out, I back away.
Yeah.
I just back away. I'm like, this is not my place, because I know that if I start to involve myself, then
the therapists come out.
Yeah, then there's too much, and then I know too much, and then it's like conflict of interest. Like, it's just it's there's too much information. Like, I shouldn't know all this stuff, you know? I just shouldn't know all this information. So I like to see, and if I feel like I need to intervene, then I will. And if I don't, I back away. And I just realized it's not like je m'en lave les mains, c'est pas mon problème. It's like my boyfriend says, it's not your fight, you know? It's not your fight. So,
but you see that one thing also, you know, sometimes, you know how we were talking about like withdrawing.
mm-hmm.
Is that a good thing?
It depends on where it comes from. Like, I know my tendencies to withdraw come from childhood, and whenever there's a mess, I back away. So whenever I withdraw, I'm aware, and then I try to find ways to, like, okay, well, if I'm withdrawing here, where can I still go and not fully isolate myself, but still find ways to connect with people or things that still make me feel good, you know, so I can still feel like I'm connected to something. Because when I withdraw, sometimes I feel isolated and it can get dark.
Yeah.
But then I forget that I actually have people around me that can support me, you know? So it all depends on where the withdrawing comes from. If you're somebody who withdraws because, like, if you're like me and you withdraw, just try to find ways to connect back. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think withdrawing sometimes is necessary when you're in a situation where it can be draining for yourself, when you don't feel comfortable, whenever you don't feel at ease with yourself. Withdrawing would be a better solution, but maybe being mindful of the other party that you're withdrawing from, and maybe if you need to withdraw from them, maybe letting them know as well, so that maybe they can be aware of the issue or whatever the case may be, and that can allow the other person to kind of, you know, do their own work at the same time. And then if you withdraw, if you have to come back eventually, you come back. But if it's not meant to be, then check up the deuces.
I do. I have a very weird way of like handling any like relationships, and that also applies to family.
Navigating family relationships. It's so complicated.
But you know, family falls into the cultural guilt. You know, and I don't know how long we've been filming, and if we do have time, but I do have this technique, and I don't know if it's the most,
share your technique,
you know, if it's the healthiest. However, I will share you the tea, the good healthy technique. I like play baseball, and by baseball I give you 2 strikes.
Okay, I'm like, you play baseball.
I don't
even walk.
I don't walk. Yeah, I mean I do walk, but y'all get it. 3 strikes, and after 3 strikes, I'm not forgiving. I do have a big heart that I like to find excuses for a lot of people, a lot of things, but after 3, don't call me, don't text me, I no longer exist. And if the strikes happen in one day, in one day, there's 3 incidents in that one day.
Have you had that happen?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's pretty bad, actually.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. And that's the reason why that people are like, oh, it's only that one day. I'm like, that one day, too many things happen.
Yeah.
And just that's enough. Maybe if, you know, sometimes you have a conversation with a person and the first time the person said one comment, the comment is just like, what? Oh, would you say that? But you let it pass, it's kind of like whatever. And the person keep on throwing shade and adding some random comments into it.
I see what you're saying.
For me, I count this as strikes as well. Like, if we have a certain type of friendship or relationship, and you so comfortable to throw those low-key shades at me that you think I won't understand, and you think that after that I'm gonna walk out and we're still going to be friends,
it wouldn't be you wouldn't be respecting yourself, if anything.
That's it. Sometimes it's about respecting yourself, and it's about adding certain boundaries, right? And me, after 3, I do truly believe certain things comes from obviously the way that you're viewing me. That's one thing. But also there's nothing like this thing about people keep on playing the like, oh, I didn't know game. Like it was unintentional. There's unintentional, and there's someone that does certain things with intention, but their intention wasn't for me to cut them off. And for me,
or for you to notice.
For me to notice. You claim to be my friend. You claim to love me. You even claim to be my family. Like, it's too much. There's certain things that you don't cross if you believe in all those things. So
that's your technique, y'all.
That's my technique.
She
3
plays baseball.
3 strikes and you're out. Family, it's a little bit hard, and that's to go to diving into the cultural guilt. It's a bit hard because sometimes within a lot of immigrant culture, Black culture, our parents, they are known to be in a setting and be around people they don't necessarily like, or to be around people that keep on doing them wrong. We've seen it too often with church. We see it too often in our culture that I don't understand it. Our parents are like that, our grandparents are like that. They can have a person that say negative comments on them, on their kids, countless of time, but they can't cut off the person, or they can't set a certain boundary. I'm not about it. So even when I have a conversation with my mom, I have a conversation with my dad, I have a conversation with my brothers, and it's the same rules that I do apply.
I'm thinking of like putting up the boundaries of family on like how I've done it on my side, and like the guilt that came from it. But it's like, I don't know. Hold on, I need time to think. I need time to think this one through. Because I have put my boundaries with family members as well. And whenever like I'm just chilling and like, oh, t'as appelé un tel? It's like, no, was I supposed to call them? And they're just like, and then they kind of give you like a side eye, and it's just like, no, I didn't call. They didn't call me either. And I think people don't understand the reasons why we might have not called, or they do, but they're like, oh, well, it's family. We don't keep grudges here. We don't do things like that. But at the end of the day, if the other person, if I've done my fair share in expressing how I feel, and if I've done my fair share in telling the person, like, this is what you've done to me, this is how it's hurt me, and the only thing that you say back is, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with it? You clearly don't care about how I feel. You clearly don't care about how I feel. So for me, I don't know, putting up these boundaries and distancing myself from certain family members has caused me a lot more good. And I think it gives me more space to explore myself and who I am. And if I have to go back with our relationship, maybe down the line, figuring out how to navigate it, then I think that that's okay. But I feel like for the time being, putting up these boundaries with certain family members is necessary. And then if in 5 years we have to reconnect the way we have to reconnect, then we do. But ouais, c'est ça.
C'est vraiment ça.
C'est vraiment ça.
So
that's about it for today.
I think that's about it for today. Well, let's do our outro. Well, I want to say thank you for everyone for
coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know we've been on a little hiatus. Like we said, we've been going through it.
Yeah. But part two, we're working into like not we're working. We're like brainstorming.
Yeah.
About like some topics that we're going to dive in this second part. But if you guys have any suggestions, comments, or topics you guys would love that we have, that you guys will love that we address, or and then also we'll definitely bring on guests.
If you want to be a guest too, show up. Let us know. I'm just thinking about that. If you have a comment or a conversation you want to have, if you have something sitting on your heart, just let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of thinking maybe like if you guys have like comments or like questions, maybe like every episode we can have a few questions, and then we can like actually like kind of like a hot seat topic.
Yeah. It's like AJ45 has this question for us today.
Yeah. I think that would be nice, you know, to make it a bit different.
Yeah. I think we're working on being more interactive.
Yeah.
And making sure that, like, you know, it's not just us talking to you, but it's you also feeling included in our conversations and how we're trying to set up Shades of Black.
That's it. We're trying to revamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you again for coming through. Once again, you guys are loyal. We love it.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all.
And follow us on Instagram. Yeah. We don't have a personal page for Shades of Black yet. Just because the way life been going for us, to take another account on top of our businesses and Shades of Black,
it's too much.
However, you can find me on Instagram at _ it's _ first. Oh my god, I'm sorry. It's at _ consciously black. And for my co-hosts,
you can find me on at the thoughtful therapist _ on Instagram as well. Yes. And yeah, more content to come. Thank you.